Are you looking for a school that nurtures your child's academic, spiritual, and personal growth? Andalusia Academy International School, where your child's future is our priority. We offer comprehensive education levels: kindergarten, Pearson I Primary Certificate, secondary, and Pearson IGCSE certificate.
We are a school that emphasizes in the Deen and Dunya. It's integrated in that on the side of Islamic studies, we have Quran, we have Hadith, we have Arabic. And then, of course, in the secular side, we have all the subjects.
We focus on student-centered learning, where we engage our students in different levels. Other than that, we have very innovative teachers who help to cultivate creative thinking, problem solving, which are very, very key skills in our learners, not only in school, but also for their future.
Hello everyone, my name is Aisha Mohammed and I'm a student under Andalusia International School. I've been here for the past 5 years and I'm in year 11 right now, and my experience in this school so far has been amazing.
Admissions are available. Visit us today. We are located in Nairobi, South Sea. Andalusia Academy International School, where your child's future is our priority.
Hello, my name is Teacher Michelle at Andalusia Academy. I teach biology and chemistry, and welcome for smart learning here at Andalusia Academy and on Horizon TV. And I'm going to welcome you to biology. We are going to tackle biology, whereby biology is a scientific study. It's a science whereby we study about living things. And when we talk of these living things, we have animals and plants. When we talk of these organisms, animals and plants, all of them, all the living organisms, they are usually made up of things, we call them cells. And we usually say cells are the basic unit of life. Cells are the basic unit of life, and that is where life begins in. And therefore now I'm going to take you through a subtopic known as life processes. So we've said organisms, that is plants and animals, they are usually made up of cells. And those cells, those organisms, they can be classified into two depending on the number of cells that they're having. So we have unicellular organisms, and then we have multicellular organisms. And just from the name themselves, they give us the meaning of each one of them. Uni means one. So these are organisms that are only made up of a single cell. Example, we have amoeba, we have paramecium, and so many of them. Then when we come to multicellular, we have, these are organisms that are made up of what? Multi means many. So these are organisms that are made up of many cells. And example, we have plants and animals. Then from there now we go to, as we've said earlier, that cells, they are the basic unit of life. For these things to be classified as living organisms, we usually have life processes, and sometimes we refer them as characteristics of living things. So sometimes we also refer them as the life processes. There are 8 of them, whereby each living organism must undergo those life processes, and we usually use a formula for us to remember. So we use Mrs. Gren for us to be able to remember easily, whereby each letter represents a certain characteristic of life. So we have the first one, M stands for movement. R stands for reproduction. S stands for sensitivity. G stands for growth and development. The other R stands for respiration. And the other E stands for excretion. And then lastly, we have N stands for nutrition. We are going to define each one of them and see how it benefits the living organism. So the first one, we have movement, whereby movement is changing of position. Living organisms, they have to change their position from one place to another, and maybe it might be due to in search of maybe for food, for water, for shelter, and also for sometimes for mates. So we have so many reasons as to why living organisms can move from one point to another. We have reproduction, whereby it is another characteristic of living thing, whereby it refers to giving rise to young ones of the same kind, so that the organisms do not get extinct. We have continuity in the generation. We also have sensitivity, whereby sensitivity is a life process whereby all living organisms, they must have it such that they can sense the changes in the environment and respond to them accordingly. For example, when the temperatures are higher, our body needs to sense and respond to it accordingly. So when we come to sensitivity, because we are going to come and tackle it on its own, we shall see more of it. Then we have growth and development, whereby growth is just the irreversible increase in size, and development is the irreversible increase in complexity, whereby you find that life begins as a single cell, and then that cell, that is zygote, then from there now it keeps on dividing, increasing in the number of cells until each cell now becomes adapted to its function. Then we come to respiration, whereby this is release of energy. Respiration is release of energy. And when we talk of release of energy, we have reasons as to why our body requires energy, whether for plants or for animals. We say that biology is the study of living things, whereby we have animals and plants. So for us, for organisms to live, we need energy. For us to grow, we need energy. For us to do all those movement, we also require what? Energy. And even in case of maybe when we get injuries, to repair those worn out tissues, we also require energy. So the process of respiration is also very important for living things. Then we have excretion, whereby excretion means release of metabolic waste from the cells. So we have some waste that when they accumulate in our body, they become toxic. An example is when we talk of urine. So if in any case those waste, they accumulate in our cells, they become toxic, and they might end up bringing about some issue, that is some disorders like diabetes and so many of them. We also need to get rid of carbon dioxide, because our body does not require what? Carbon dioxide. That is also another form of excretion. Then lastly, we have the nutrition, whereby this is just taking in food. This is just taking in food, whereby these two living organisms, animals and plants, each one of them, they require food for them to grow, and they also require food for them to release what? This energy. So for example, plants make their own food through the process of photosynthesis, but us animals, we usually depend on what? On plants for us to get our own food. So when we come to nutrition, we shall still go through it, much of it there. Then from there, we are done with life processes. We can go to the next subtopic, which is about where I'm going to take you through the cell structure, because we've said the cell is the basic unit of life. And all those life processes that we've mentioned there, they are taking place inside the cells. So let us see the structure of a cell. What does a cell contain? What does it do in our body? So here we are going to do animal cell, whereby we'll do the diagram of an animal cell. And the other side, we are going to do plant cell. And then we usually say the cell, whether the plant cell or animal cell, we have the tiny structures that they usually contain, whereby we refer them as organelles. So those things that are contained inside a cell, whether it is an animal cell or a plant cell, we refer them as organelles, and whereby we shall find most of them, they will just be both in common plant and also in animal cell. So like, for example, if we label the animal cell, here we have the cell membrane. Here we have the cytoplasm. And then inside the cytoplasm, that is where most of the life processes takes place. And we shall have the organelles that are comprised in the cytoplasm. Like, for example, we have an organelle that looks like that. We refer it as mitochondria. Then from there, we have the nucleus, which is the black colored part of it. It is always colored. So this is now the nucleus. Then we come to the plant cell, whereby we label it. We have the cell wall. We have the cell membrane. And then we have the cytoplasm. This is the space that is around here. So we have the cytoplasm. Then we have the nucleus. Then we have the vacuole. And then the wall that is surrounding the vacuole, we usually refer it to tonoplast. And then around the cytoplasm, as I have told you, that is where most of the life processes take place here. And then here we have the black colored but small part of it. We've said that plants usually make their own food and they usually use a certain component. So these black dots here, we refer them as chloroplast. And then from the chloroplast, we have the mitochondria, is a common one for both animals and also plant cells. So here we have mitochondria. When it is one, we refer it as mitochondrion. Mitochondrion. When it is one, when there are many, we refer them as mitochondria. So I'm going to take you through the organelles and what they do. Why do we need to have them in our cells? Because we've said most life processes, all of them, they usually take place inside the cytoplasm and inside those organelles that are right there. So let's see each one of them, what is its function into the cell. So the first one, we've seen it is nucleus. And nucleus is usually found in both plants and animals, and it has the same purpose. And what is its purpose? It has two main functions there. So the nucleus, this one controls the activities of the cell. And then it is also the one contains DNA information. So for both plants and animals, we have different types of plants. We also have different classes of animals. So each one of them, we will have a cell that is going to have nucleus that controls all the activities. And when we refer to those activities, we are referring to those life processes that are taking place inside the cell that we've just mentioned, movement. We've also mentioned sensitivity, growth, all those ones that we've just seen them previously. Then the second one, we go to mitochondria, whereby mitochondria is usually the site for respiration. And what did we define respiration as? We said that respiration is the release of energy, whereby we said that release of energy is very important because we said we need energy for us to do all the activities that we just mentioned there. So specifically mitochondria, for both in plants and also in animals, it is used for the process of respiration. That is to release energy. Then we go to the cytoplasm. And cytoplasm, we say it's a fluid-like organelle and contains all the other organelles of the cell. So it's the one that is carrying all the other organelles of the cell. Then the other one, we've mentioned about plant cell wall, and it is only found in plant cell, not in animal cell. The plant cell there, the main function, it is for protection, to protect the cell, so protection of the cell. And then also the plant cell wall, it is also used by the plants for controlling what enters the cell, freely. So we usually say the cell wall is usually freely permeable. And when we talk of permeability or permeable means the ability to allow substances to move in and out of the cell. So we usually say that the cell wall for the plant, cell is usually freely permeable. So it allows all types of materials or all types of substances to move in and out of the cell. Then when we are coming to the next one, organelle, it is cell membrane. And this one, it is both found in plant cell and also in animal cell. And we've said its main function controls what enters and leaves the cell. That is its main function. So sometimes we usually say that the cell membrane here, it is partially permeable. So it does not allow all substances to pass through it. It selects some of them that are going to pass through it. But when we come to the plant cell wall, we've said it is freely permeable, allowing all substances in that. Then from there, we go to the next organelle that we've not mentioned. We've talked about cytoplasm. We go to chloroplast. Number 6, we go to chloroplasts. And these ones, they contain chlorophyll. This is now the green pigment. The green pigment on plant leaves. And what is their main purpose of them being green? We say that is the site for photosynthesis. Remember, we've said plants, they usually make their own food through the process of photosynthesis. So the leaves being green, it's much advantageous for the plants to make their own food. So we've mentioned about the organelles and their function. So both in plants and animals, if it is mitochondria, the same purpose it has for plants, it is also the same purpose it has for the animals. When it comes to nucleus, the same case to it. Only some of the organelles that we find them in animal cells, they are not in plant cells. So now I take you through now differences between plant cell and animal cell. Now that we've seen what each one of them contains and the purpose of what the substance is contained there. So we are going to do it in form of a table, whereby one side we are going to have animal cell, and the other side we are going to have plant cell, and then we do the differences there. So the first difference, we have animals do not have a permanent vacuole, while plants have a permanent vacuole. Why do plants require to have a permanent vacuole? For the storage of the food that they usually make. So sometimes in animal cell, it might be there, but it is not permanent. So it depends with the amount that is contained there. Number 2, difference number 2, we have this one, they don't have chloroplast, because we've said animals depend on already made food. So they do not have chloroplast, but for the plant cell, they have chloroplast, whereby we've seen the purpose of the chloroplast is to give the leaves the green pigment for the process of photosynthesis there. Then another one, that another difference is that the animal cell is usually irregular in shape. It has irregular shape. But for the plant cell, we have its a regular shape. So we've seen there the shape of the plant cell is almost like a rectangle. So we can define its shape there. And then another difference, this one do not have a cell wall. And cell wall, we've said, it's for the protection of the plant cell. Then this one usually have a cell wall. Those are some of the differences between plant cell and animal cell, as we've seen that. Then we go to similarities. in plant cell and animal cell. What are some of the things that are common in both plant and animal cell? We've seen each one of them is consisting of mitochondria. So both have mitochondria. They both have nucleus. And then both have cell membrane. And then lastly, we have both have cytoplasm, as you have seen the functions of each one of them. So thank you so much for listening to me, and we also welcome you back for the next episode, and then thank you so much.
Are you looking for a school that nurtures your child's academic, spiritual, and personal growth? Andalusia Academy International School, where your child's future is our priority. We offer comprehensive education levels: kindergarten, Pearson I Primary Certificate, secondary and Pearson IGCSE Certificate.
We are a school that emphasizes in the deen and dunya. It's integrated in that on the side of Islamic studies, we have Quran, we have Hadith, we have Arabic. And then, of course, in the secular side, we have all the subjects.
We focus on student-centered learning, where we engage our students in different levels. Other than that, we have very innovative teachers who help to cultivate creative thinking, problem solving, which are very, very key skills in our learners, not only in school, but also for their future.
Hello everyone, my name is Aisha Muhammad and I'm a student under Andalusia International School. I've been here for the past 5 years and I'm in year 11 right now, and my experience in this school so far has been amazing.
Admissions are available. Visit us today. We are located in Nairobi, South Sea, Andalusia Academy International School, where your child's future is our priority.